Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4 with this week's episode 5. Before we get into it, before we discuss what happened in this episode, I need to say I am loving this season so far. Jen Shah is definitely not needed for the girls to clock in and get to work. I am thoroughly enjoying the show right now. Every single episode has been a hit. Not a single one has been a miss, actually. And I wanted to, wait a little bit and tread lightly before we kind of assume the direction of this season and how good it would be. But this season is really, really good. That's all I wanted to say. I think it's important to note how every single episode is keeping the viewership entertained. I think I'm speaking generally when I say everybody is getting cinematic experiences with these women. So let's get right into it. We start off this episode with Meredith and her husband. They are recapping what went down in Palm Springs, how Miss Angie K and Whitney caused a little bit of havoc and kind of, stormed the trip and got on pretty much Meredith's good last nerves that she had reserved for this little vacation. She's also saying how, Monica and Lisa got into it and had a good tiff about, $60,000 ring, how Lisa is supposedly materialistic, how Monica thought that was pretty much very shallow. And then we actually move on to Lisa and Meredith meeting up for some facials. They're trying out this new machine that's really exposing how dehydrated they actually are in their facial skin. Both of them are mortified at the look of the results, but they sit down, have a little chit-chat, and discuss how Lisa is wanting to organize an après-ski where she wants all the women to come together and kind of hash out the beef and clear the bad energy that was accumulated at the Palm Springs trip. Meredith thinks that this is a good idea and she does not feel it's healthy to dwell. So Lisa is going to do this après-ski. We will get to that later. Then we jump to Monica and Whitney coming together for a little lunch. And this lunch had some very passive-aggressive energy, if you ask me. Both of them were kind of coming for each other's throats in a very calm and collected way. Whitney's like, I feel that you are getting defensive. Monica's like, well, I feel that you're scared of Meredith, so on and so forth. They are discussing the behavior that Monica exhibited on the trip, how that kind of intimidated and blocked Whitney from further pursuing Monica in a friendship way. So they are discussing that. They're also, discussing that Meredith has this pattern, a pattern that we've discussed in last week's recap of how she accumulates information, and every time she's fed up, she kind of holds that against the target person, and how Monica should be careful when dealing with Meredith. Monica should be, looking over her shoulder twice when dealing with her. And I thought that was a bit, shady with Whitney, because Whitney can also get a little shady. You definitely can tell that this season she is liking to stir the pot, that at many points in the episodes she can actually not wait to stir the pot. But, thanks to Whitney, we have some really nice topics and conflicts to go off of. So let's just say that two things can be true at the same time. Whitney, you're giving us content, but Miss Whitney, you are definitely stirring the pot, and who's to say to not tread lightly and carefully with you? Then we move up to Whitney and her husband. Her husband got a job. That's all I gotta say. With this scene, not much happened here. They're kind of rescheduling and reorganizing their daily day-to-day now that he's going to be gone full-time, just as her. And then we go to Angie and Sean, and let me tell you something. They are a beautiful couple, and Sean is so handsome. Electra is also very, very pretty. Also very, very adorable. Angie K is kind of saying how 12 years ago when their daughter was born, that changed the dynamic, and now they weren't just Angie and Sean, they were just mom and dad, and both of them are giving all of their love to their daughter Electra, which I think, that's to be expected in a way for dynamics to shift. But I just really hope for the both of them that they'll kind of find their spark again in their marriage, because they do seem like a very good couple to me, and I would hate for them to endure the Bravo curse of divorces. Kyle and Mauricio are shaking in their boots right now. So, yeah, I just hope that they work things out. We then actually jump to Heather and her girls. They are going on a little skiing trip, afternoon thing, drinking some hot cocoa, having some deep talks. Heather trying to, talk to her daughters about, bullying at school that the both of them have experienced since Heather has left the church. Her daughter found a note calling her the C word, which is not very nice. Her daughters seem to kind of minimize the issue and kind of brush over it and not be too pressed about it as Heather. I understand, Heather, in that matter, it must be a paranoid feeling letting your daughters go, to school and them being kind of hazed by the choices that you make as a mother, which definitely gives why are you so obsessed with me? And even her youngest daughter, the youngest daughter of Heather, said, well, she's laughing about it because that really means that they have a very sad life. And now Heather is like, well, I don't want to be too over dramatic because I don't want to make you feel that you need to be strong for me. And when something happens, you don't come to me. Which is a fair point. But I'm loving that they have open communication. It shows that Heather is a very good, mother in that sense. And she takes her children's feelings very, very seriously. So we then go to Lisa's après-ski little get-together. Well, it's kind of a mini event held in this kind of snow cabin. There's some crepes. There's a Vita tequila ice cut out with margarita juices and flowing around it all. It's very much giving Frozen, but mixed with tequila. So that was a very, very successful thing. Pretty much showing all of these girls that Lisa Barlow has several, not one, but several coins to spend on her brand. Okay, she definitely let Miss Monica know how materialistic she is in this event. And as soon as everybody's here, they're greeting each other. Everything is kind of going great so far. But as soon as they get their crepes and try to talk to each other, Lisa and Monica go at it almost immediately. Not in a way that happened in Palm Springs. I think both of them are a bit more calm and collected. But they're still, talking about this thing that they had with Lisa being too materialistic, Monica being insecure, and they're kind of arguing back and forth. At one point, Angie K even tried to shove food in Monica's mouth, which I thought was very foul. But then again, Lisa had her fingers in Monica's face, which I thought was also unnecessary, but they did quickly squash this very unnecessary and childish beef. I couldn't even decide on which side I would be on in this conflict because both of the sides were definitely fidgeting around and making no sense at all. So I'm glad that we got this over with, and this is not going to be dragged all the way through and to the reunion. We then have everybody taking shots together, and Heather and Angie K are seemingly getting along very well, which I thought is such a good sign. They're taking shots, and Heather is like, well, come on, let's go take shots. And Angie K is like, well, where did you learn that? And Heather's like, well, I learned this at, summer camp when I was doing my mission for the Mormon church. And Angie K is like, oh my God, I love your religion. And both of them go to take a shot. I thought that scene was hilarious. I couldn't hold myself anymore at that point. But I think it's great that both of them are getting along. We'll see how long this is going to last. And then Mary Cosby arrives, almost immediately giving everybody the cold shoulder. She's sitting down and kind of being tired and dismissive, as if she was working a whole 9 to 5 that week to prepare this event. I thought that was kind of, it's getting a little bit old at this point, but still, Mary Cosby in itself, she is an iconic person that needs no other anchor support in a scene. She works very well alone, and we see that, but I do hope that she'll engage in more scenes in the future. She's coming for Heather's necklace. She's saying, well, what made you wear that necklace today, Heather? And Heather was very quick and very defensive. She was like, I like the champagne color. It brings out in my collar. It accentuates the turtleneck. And Mary's like, you missed out on that one. And I was like, well, damn, Mary, why are you so direct and a little bit rude? Girl, chill out. You just got here. She's also kind of talking crazy to Monica. Monica's wanting to be kind of her friend, and I think in a sense the two of them work a little bit together. The dynamic that the both of them have is fun, but I really hope it fortifies in a way for the both of them, because I think Mary needs to loosen up and get some connection going and get some friendship going in for her to stay on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So Monica's sitting down, she's getting a crepe. Mary's looking all, disgusted at her. And she's like, well, you're a beautiful lady. Don't you care what you eat? And I was like, well, damn, you did it again. Mary, you are fat-shaming this woman. And I thought that was a little distasteful. But Monica has good humor. She's like, I love how she's very direct and just unapologetically herself. And I was like, Monica, you are better than me, because I would have definitely clapped back and cursed her out. I would have been like, well, yeah, I definitely love to eat. Do you? Because you look like you could need a bite or two. Just a hypothetical read that I would have maybe or maybe not thrown into the moment if that were me. Monica's probably a better person than I am. So now, after everybody's taken shots, eaten some food, and kind of relaxed, Angie and Whitney and Monica come together to reveal certain rumors that Meredith allegedly is holding against Angie K. And the rumor is the rumor that they talked about lunch, and the rumor that they talked before prior, them kind of picking up Angie K and pulling her into the conversation at the après-ski, is that allegedly Meredith allegedly said that Sean, Angie K's husband, likes men, cheats on her with men, and has several boyfriends in the Salt Lake City streets. When Monica broke this down to to Whitney acted as if she didn't know this. I don't know what to believe. I don't know if she let Monica kind of take this hit in the scene, because Whitney supposedly knows something else from Meredith, or maybe not. Maybe I've misread the situation, but if this is true, this is definitely so sad for Angie K. I mean, visually speaking, I could see a possibility for Sean to maybe engage in some LGBT stuff, but, you know, nowadays, who isn't? So it's not that big of a deal. But to hold that against her and to not confront her with that in private and saying, well, you know, you and I got off on the wrong foot, but here's this information. Do what you want with it. Can I help you with something? I think that's a little, again, distasteful. But of course, it's getting Angie K going. Angie K knows right from the bat that something's off about Whitney's energy. Whitney is saying, well, I'm going to pass out and I can't tell this to her. And then 2 seconds later, she is out here, can't wait to, you know, break her friend's heart and kind of shock her. So I'm like, Whitney, you say you're A, but then you do B. What is it? So what is it if not pot stirring? But anyways, they break this to Angie. Angie's like, well, this cannot be it. And, you know, this is disgraceful. I have been with my husband for 27 years. He's loyal to me. I'm loyal to him. And Meredith should be the last effing person to talk about this when she's the one out here spreading her legs outside of her marriage. I was like, one thing about Angie K, you might call her thirsty, but she will definitely come for you in a heartbeat. Okay? If you upset her, she's definitely not one to hold quietly. So she's getting all riled up. She's super emotional about this. She's super upset. And the episode ends and she's walking towards Meredith. And she's asking her if she has a second to talk. And this is where the episode cuts off. And I cannot wait to discuss next week's episode with you guys, because we will find out how this conversation is gonna go down. Probably it's gonna go very left. I hope for Meredith's sake that she does not go for the jugular. And I hope that if she, you know, is out here for some petty revenge, I really hope that she does not kind of joke about this and this maybe does hold some truth. And she didn't pull this out of her behind, which, if we're being real right now, isn't everybody in kind of Salt Lake City, in that Mormon area, kind of doing things on the DL? I have heard about it. I have read about it. It's kind of the DL culture there. So, Angie K, what's up with that? But anyways, you guys, this was it for the episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 4. I think we have 10 or at least 12 episodes to go. Please let me know what you thought about this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell down below so you do not miss out any future recaps of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City or any other form of content that I am going to post. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.